Hi, welcome back to Chat with Kat. Happy December. I'm so excited to have you back with me. So this week what I'm going to talk about is some of my favorite writing resources. Now most of them are books, some of them are on YouTube. So for the books, if you have any aspiring writers or people you know that want to learn how to write, or even you could be wanting to learn to write, these are great resources for you to have. Let's get started. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to talk about is a group of books by a girl named Valerie Howard. She is amazing, and so she does a whole series. I'm probably going to end up getting some more of her books just because I really like the way they are. So the first one is 1000 Character Reactions. This is a great one. It just describes how you react to things like your chest, like the tightening sensation in your chest, or chest deflating with defeat, things like that. So it's just a way to spice up your character reactions. It makes it more realistic. They're really good. And then the next two are similar. 1000 helpful adjectives and 1000 strong verbs. Now, in the writing world, you're not supposed to use adverbs in your writing. They're really kind of weak considered, and so you always want to replace them with really strong verbs. These two books are really great. All they are is just lists. See, lists. And then there's lots of space for, like, if you come across verbs of your own that you want to add, you can add them in. The same thing with the adjectives. So, like, if you want to talk about strengthen, the word strengthen, instead of saying strengthen, you can always say beef up, bolster, brace, fortify, things like that. Or if you want to say scratch, instead of the word scratch, you can say score, scrape, gash, claw, gouge, stuff like that. I have to hold this back because I don't have my glasses on, so it's hard for me to actually read what's in the books. But those are great resources for you. Yeah, I would strongly encourage those. So the next one is by a guy named Nicholas C. Rossi, or Rossis. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but I love this book. It's Emotional Beats: How to Convert Your Writing into Palpable Emotions, or feelings. So this is a great book because it keeps your writing from being dry. You know how sometimes books can come off, the characters can come off as a little robotic in their without emotions. Well, this is a great resource to help you conquer the robot in your characters. It talks about body parts, emotions, crying, stuff like that. Like, for instance, if you want to use something that describes, gives an emotional beat to about a head. So you could say something like, he cocked his head, or she bobbed her head in agreement. Just simple little things like that will actually spice up your writing. And so it covers, like I said, feelings and emotions, body parts, things like that. This is a great resource. I would encourage you to get this one. This next one is by Bryn Donovan, and it actually is the very first writing resource book that I ever purchased. And I actually got it on Kindle, but after looking at it, I was like, well, it's not really working for me, because I have discovered that I am a visual person. I like to actually have something in my hands so I can flip through. So I bought it in paperback. So I have it in both Kindle and paperback. It's called Master Lists for Writers, and it's by Bryn Donovan. Can you see her name? And this is awesome. This is like combines a whole bunch of stuff into one book. So this covers all sorts of good stuff. It's descriptions, like character descriptions, body language, stuff like that. Settings, how to create settings to make them more realistic and heartfelt. Plotting. It gives an overview of different ways to plot, like 50 romance plots, 50 high-stake plots, family plots, 10 plot points that can melt readers' hearts, 50 goals and aspirations, things like that. And then it also does dialogue, character names, character traits. Like I said, this has a little bit of everything in it. It's really awesome. She's also a blogger, so I do subscribe to her blog. I would encourage you to get this book. This is great, especially if you haven't tried any other books. I would get this one first. This really helps. The next one is by Sandra Girth, and it's very simple. The title is easy: Show, Don't Tell. I don't know if you're familiar, but in the writing world, that's the number one advice that they'll give you is show, don't tell. And so you might be wondering, well, what does that mean? I thought writing a book would be telling everything. Well, no, there's a difference. So telling is simply informing your reader or supplying information, while showing is actually allowing your reader to become a part of the story and picture something in their mind, or paint a picture in their mind. So let me give you an example. So let's say you want to say she was tired, but you don't want to tell it. See, that's telling. The opposite of telling is showing, and you say she yawned. So she is tired turns into she yawned. See the difference? There's a difference there. It engages the imagination. Another one is he's hungry, or he is hungry. You can change that into his stomach rumbles. Now that triggers the thought, well, he must be hungry because his stomach is rumbling, right? So do you see the difference between showing and telling? And so this is an awesome book for doing that, for learning how to do that. The other part of the description says how to write vivid descriptions, handle backstory, and describe your character's emotions. This is a really great one. I would encourage you to get this one. Again, Sandra Girth. Now this one, have you ever read a book where you're reading it and you think, boy, these characters, they don't know how to talk. Who talks like that? Like, I said this, or she said that, or he asked, or, you know, exclaimed. So this next book really has changed my dialogue. And appropriately, it's titled How to Write Dazzling Dialogue. And this is by James Scott Bell. It's not a thick book, but it's full of great ideas. Like you can use dialogue to reveal your character, to convey emotion, to convey scenery, plotting, all that. This is a great book to have. It's really helpful to know how to write a book with realistic dialogue, something that doesn't sound robotic or dry or boring, because I hate boring. Do you hate boring? I know I do. And so I would encourage you to get this book. This is a great one. The final one that I have is called Plot Gardening, A Simple Guide to Outlining Your Novel. And this is by Chris Fox. And I have to say, I have not used this book yet. I've read it. It's an awesome book. I love the way he lays things out. So I don't know if you know, in the writing world, there's like tons of advice on how to plot your novel. Everybody has an opinion. Every writer is different. And that's okay, because writing should be personal. And so this is just another way to plot your novel. And so, but this is a really unique approach. And so, like I said, I have not used this yet. I'm actually thinking about using it in my next novel. So if I do, what I'll actually make a video once I'm done with it and tell you what worked and what didn't work for me in with this book. But I am intrigued by this. So it's a unique approach, but again, pick what you want to do. What I do is I read all my books, I read all the advice, I go on YouTube and watch those videos, but then I kind of pick little things out of each person's directions on how to plot your novel, outline your novel, things like that, because I want to fit what I like. And so I have found things that don't work for me, and I have found things that do work for me. And so I've kind of cobbled them all together into what I do now. And so, yeah, these are great books. The links will be in the video below the video. Like I said, these are great Christmas gifts, or buy yourself a Christmas gift. But yeah, I would definitely consider those. Now, there are some other things that you can do that are really helpful, and they're not that expensive. Just go down to your local bookstore or Walmart or anywhere that they sell journals or notebooks, and I use notebooks for brainstorming. Like if I'm in a tough spot, I just sit down with my pen and a notebook and write out, so how if I did this, how would this work, and this and this and this. So that way it's not exactly in my outline, but it's something that I can use if I'm stuck somewhere. I brainstorm a lot. Another good thing is journals. Now these are really good for writers who want to capture those random thoughts that hit us throughout the day. And it happens to me all the time. I'll be sitting in, like, cleaning the house, and this thought will pop into my head, and I'm like, oh, that sounds really cool, but I don't have, it's not something that I'm going to use in whatever currently I'm working on. So I run and get my journal and I write it down in that. So I have several of these. This one is blank. It's just a blank journal. The one that I'm using at the moment is about halfway full, and so it's just a nice thing. So if you have people that like to write, I would get them these journals like this. I got several of these at Barnes & Noble's. They were $5 on clearance last year, or at the beginning of this year. No, I think it was last year, last Christmas. And so yeah, just journals, great. Another good thing that you can get for your writer friends is pens, pencils, stuff like that. Especially if they like to write out by hand and not on the computer. I kind of do both. Most of it is on the computer now, but some of it I do as a novel. So yeah, so those are the physical resources. The next thing you can do is direct people to YouTube videos. I know I have found quite a few really helpful YouTubers, AUTHORTUBERs that are that create videos designed to encourage and help someone with their writing. As I mentioned a couple weeks ago, Sarah Cannon from heartbreathings.com, she's one of my favorites. She does all kinds of videos. She has several series of videos, like plotting your novels, how to create a series Bible, characterization, marketing, things like that. She also has a website and a blog. She has an Etsy shop, all that good stuff. And she's a successful writer. She's written multiple series with lots of books, and her advice is really valuable. Another one is Alexa Dunn. I've been watching her videos. She's really good. Again, she does plotting, characterization, how to write your novel, different things that you might want to keep your eyes open for. Another one that I found is Meg Latour on iWriterly. She also, they all kind of have their own spin on how they do things. Everybody does things different, but it all, at the same time, a lot of it is similar. So just different perspectives. It helps me to cement what I like to do. And another one I found that I really enjoy is Abby Emmons. She does videos as well. Jerry B. Jenkins, of course, you know him from the Left Behind series. He does YouTube videos, and he also has a blog, a website, things like that. And then there's one more called, his name is Derek Murphy. I've been following him for a while. He does a lot of indie publishing. He has some really good tutorials on how to create your own covers for your books using Word documents, and just different other things like that. These are all great. There's a lot of them out there, so many more than I've mentioned. But like I said, they're really great to help you hone your craft, because like I said, we should always be learning. Every time we do something, we should be learning how to do it better. And so the best way to do that is to take classes or buy books or watch YouTube videos, read blogs, things like that. And I can guarantee that it'll help. Yeah, so those are my helpful hints. Those are my recommendations for this week. I also wanted to give you an update on my book. As you know, last week I talked about my book. Hopefully having it done this week, but I ran into a couple snags because I don't know if you've written anything, but as you write, even if you have a detailed outline like I did, sometimes while you write, your book takes a turn or wanders away from those outlines, and then you have to go back in and reevaluate. So that's what happened to me. Is I got down to where I was at the last couple chapters, getting ready to go into the ending, and boom, I realized that those little veers off the path that I had chosen has affected how I need to end the book. So I am currently reworking the ending, trying to get some fresh perspective on it. So I did take a couple days off just to kind of think about it, to brainstorm, and I do have a clear direction now, and so I'm going to jump back into that. So hopefully I will have that done by the end of next week, and then I can move on to the editing process and second draft and all that. So yeah, that's where I'm standing with the book Redeemed, which will be coming out next year. I wanted to ask if you are a writer and you have any resources that you can help others with, please post in the comments and let me know. If you have any suggestions, or if you'd like to know anything or ask me anything, please feel free to drop it in the comments. I will respond. As always, I would appreciate it if you would give my video a thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that you like my content, and it will help it to get pushed out into the feed so that other people can find it. Share the video. I would appreciate it if you'd share it on your favorite social media sites. Share it to your friends and family. Let them know about it. Maybe they'd be interested in learning something about writing or anything. I know I'm not an expert on everything, but I have written 3 books, 3 novels, and some nonfiction books. So I don't know. I just want to talk about it. I want to have fun. So also subscribe. I think it's on this side. I'm not sure. The videos turns me around, but subscribe to the channel so you, and don't forget to ring the bell so that you'll be notified the next time I post, which I'm trying to post something every Wednesday. Yeah, so I am so excited to have you with me. I'm so glad that for those of you who stuck with me through this video, and I will have everything in that I've mentioned today, all the YouTube videos, the books, everything. I will link down below the video so that you can find them easily. And I just want to say thank you for stopping by. I will talk to you next week, and have a blast, people. Happy December. Bye.